I grew up without my biological father. I always thought like, well, why didn't my real father love me? Or like, why didn't he care about me and to like stay? I always thought like, well, maybe I was the problem. My name is Lexi. For as long as I can remember, I would always ask my mom, why don't I have the same last name as you? When can I have the same last name as you? She would always tell me that she loves me and like that it was God's will for us to be for me to be raised how I was. So even though like he wasn't there for me, like she was always there, and I always had like my papa, and I always had my whole family. And obviously I grew up in church, so everybody there, that's my family. So we all grew up together, or I grew up together with them very closely. Even though I grew up without my biological father, Anthony stepped in as that role. And growing up, I always that is my dad. I would tell everybody that's my dad, and then they'd be like, well, your dad's white. And I'm like, well, it's a whole complicated story, but he's who raised me. He has always been there for me. He has always acted like I was his kid, like I was his child. He's never treated me like I wasn't, or like I was less than what I was, than what I am. Even though he shows it in different ways, I always felt loved by him, always comforted. I go to him more than I go to my mom about situations, like big things, and she's probably mad about that, but I always talk to him because he's always there. He sits there and he watches me give him hauls when I go shopping, and he tells me that I buy really nice things and I should probably stop spending my money. But he's always there for me whenever I do things. He's always there to love me, to care for me. He wants what's best for me. I said hi to him in a grocery store, and he took that as I wanted to know him, but in reality, I didn't even know who he was, and I was just being a nice person and telling him hi. That's when I found out that he wanted to get joint custody of me. That's what really made me realize, I went through a hard time with it, because I was like, you didn't love me for 15 years, and now you're trying to get into my life, and I don't want you to be, because my life is great how it is. And I actually wrote a letter to him, basically telling him that I didn't want to do anything different in my life. I wanted my life to be the same way it was. I didn't want to go to spend weekends with him or anything, and he took that as me lying and saying that I was being manipulated into saying that. And so I met with our lawyer, and we had a conversation, and he realized hey, she's being for real. She doesn't want to mess, her life how it is now is perfect how she wants it. I found out 3 days before I was getting adopted, and I broke down crying. I feel grateful that, even though I didn't have a father in the beginning, I legally have one, and it makes me feel, I don't know how to explain it, but amazed that he stepped up to be my dad, and I love that. I'm legally his, and so, yeah. Everything happens for a reason. God planned this to be this way, and it's definitely drawing me still closer to him.